Good afternoon. So, are we really going to leave the EU on the 31st of October? Well, almost certainly now, Boris Johnson's going to be our next Prime Minister, with most of the Conservative membership having already voted, and Boris in the polls with over 70% of that vote, it looks like a dead certainty. So, come the end of July, with Boris as Prime Minister, off he goes to Europe to try and renegotiate our exit deal. Well, hopefully the end of July, because the EU is on holiday for most of the end of July and August, so it might be September. But anyway, off Boris goes. Eventually he comes back, but almost certainly with nothing. I can't see the EU renegotiating or agreeing to any significant change. So he comes back, and our default position is to leave on the 31st of October. And the only way to stop that is for Parliament to pass legislation to delay Brexit. That's what happened last time with Theresa May. But this time, there isn't much time. There isn't time for them to pass legislation, and they're struggling to get control of the House in order to initiate it. But with John Bercow as Speaker, who knows, anything is possible. But let's assume that they can't get control of that legislation and it's not passed, and our default position is to leave. Well, the only other thing they can do is a vote of no confidence in the government called by Jeremy Corbyn, probably supported by some Remainer Tories who don't want to leave without a deal. But even if they pass, that no confidence vote wins and there's a general election, our default position is still to leave on the 31st of October. And if there isn't a Prime Minister who has to go to Europe to ask for a delay, then we've left. I mean, I'm trying to get my head round what will happen and what the possible outcomes are, especially if no Brexit blocker is passed in Parliament. So we'll just have to see. Have a nice weekend.